Chrome is something we believe in. It's we believe that demand for chrome will continue to grow. We see the Chinese wow factor continuing for the next 10 years, and if you're going to be in stainless steel and there's going to be stainless steel consumption, you're going to need chrome units to produce that stainless steel. About 70% of world's chrome reserves sit in South Africa. An additional 15% approximately sits in Zimbabwe. So between Zimbabwe and South Africa, 85% of the world's chrome reserves are in this part of the world. So if you're going to be in chrome, this is the place to be in chrome if you want to be there long term. And to answer the question where we want to be in 10 years' time, we'd like to have a multi-country chrome play, and initially will be Zimbabwe and South Africa, where we'll be able to provide different grades of material for the international market, because Zimbabwe material is differentiated from South African material. But we see ourselves as being integrated ferrochrome producers in the long term, and let's see how that road goes. Export levy is another form of revenue for the government, and it makes the producers of chrome less competitive in the international market. So if we're ultimately unable to compete in the international market, it means that less material will be mined or produced because of the restrictions in terms of sales, and that'll mean less jobs ultimately for South Africans. You need to go and have a look at the Zambian model. Go and have a look at the Zambian mining industry over the last 30 years. They've been from complete private enterprise to government or nationalized mining back to private. They've been there, they've done it. They thought that nationalization would be a great idea. They took the mines back. Whatever income they were making eventually started costing them. Zambia went from a net cash positive country to net cash negative. It relied on international aid to survive in the times of nationalized mineral industry. Today they're a net exporter. They no longer have requirement to import foodstuffs. The country is self-sufficient in foods and has a wonderfully growing metals and minerals business due to the reprivatization of the assets that were previously held by government. I've always believed that beneficiation should happen closest to the source of the material. It doesn't make sense long term to export the cheaper raw material, whether it's iron ore, chrome ore, manganese ore, and really makes sense to put seaborne cargo at the highest value possible internationally. In order for people to beneficiate and create as much value add as we can in the country of the resource origin, the infrastructure needs to be put in place in which to allow the investor the opportunity to beneficiate. The two main ones that we're nervous of in South Africa is obviously the infrastructural restrictions that we have, and that's specifically around logistics and of course power. And while there is no power available, there ain't going to be new ferrochrome smelters or manganese smelters built. If you don't increase the logistical infrastructure to allow the export of raw materials out of the country, it will always be a bottleneck, and that will be the maximum at which you can export. So I think government got to stand up to the plate. Government got to make the investments. They have committed to significant investment in both power and logistics. And I think as those investments are made and the allocation of these tonnages comes up, I think you will see significant additional investment into the beneficiation of raw materials.